Hey everyone, before we get started with today's video, if you forgot to use a referral code when you signed up for Uber to get your bonus or guarantee of up to $1,000, then here's how to apply my referral code so you can still get some extra money. Here's the steps. So 1, open the Uber app. Next, click your photo or the 3 lines at the top corner. Click earnings. Click help or question mark. Click account and payment. Then referrals. And this step is really important. Click invited driver, report my missing or incorrect driver referral. And then click send a message. And for the invite code, use G4QA5UE. Friend's name, yours truly, Gregory Wave. GREGORYWAVE, like wave. The phone number is 815-847-0184. And the email is gregwave@yahoo.com. And for the details, you can just say something like, my good friend Gregory referred me to drive for Uber. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. My name's Greg. So I had some changes in my life personally. It's been a while since I've done some videos, and as you can see, I'm in a red Kia Soul. I have a car seat in the back, and no, I didn't have a child. That's not why I've been missing. I'm borrowing my friend's car because mine is unavailable at the moment. I have a video on what happened with that. You can definitely check that out if you want. But I'd rather just jump right into this. No more talk about me. Just go watch that video. Okay, so a lot of changes for Uber. Yeah. I've been hearing more and more buzz from people on, like, curious if it's even going to survive, like, the next 5 years. And, I mean, you guys know me. I've been big on this. I've talked about this a lot. Like, I don't think it will. You know, like, I'm like the end times prophet with Uber. I'm, like, predicting that it won't last. But here's some things I found out that make this even more interesting. There's just a lot going on with this company, right? Sorry about that. So this, for instance, last year it lost 1.8 billion, right? Last quarter it lost $5 billion. I don't know if you guys understand, like, the gravity in that, but basically, since they went public, they raised $9 billion, and they burned 5 of that in a single quarter. You know, so, like, that is, like, absolutely insane. I'm so sorry, guys. There we go. There we kind of go. There we go. All right. So now this was another thing I learned on top of it that just kind of makes the whole process of this incredibly fascinating. So Uber loses 25 cents on every dollar it brings in, and it averages about $1.20 on every ride. So basically, like, they're losing money so fast, and I saw this online, that comparative to Amazon, which was another, like, really hyped company that went public, or, like, I didn't look up Facebook's data, but that, like, those are also huge companies that went public a little bit late. That's more money than Amazon lost in its first 7 years. Now, like, Uber had one of the most hyped, like, when it went public, I don't know if you guys remember, but, like, it was everywhere. Like, this was something people had been waiting for. And we're thinking this is the birth of the next mega franchise. But here's the thing, like, no company lost money like this that survived. A lot of companies lost money like this, but they didn't make it, you know? So the fact that in a single quarter they burned what one company did in 7 years, a mega company, that's just crazy. And so what does this constantly come down to? Well, they either have to raise expenses or cut wages. You know, and we've seen that. We're all familiar with that. But I think what people don't understand is we're still in the same pickle of relying on them to figure out how they're going to make it work. And, like, don't really see how they're going to make it work. I don't know, but I'm not like, I didn't go to school for this stuff or anything. But it's just been chaos. So a lot of you guys were maybe a part of this, but a lot of drivers were boycotting the company like when it was going public. Before, during, after, here in Phoenix, I know there was a big thing they did. I didn't actually know about it, but I didn't drive the day. I didn't go to like the rally, but I did choose to not drive that day, as I think we were on strike that day. Big powerful Uber drivers on strike. But basically, yeah, so there's been some, like, I mean, I feel like rally isn't even a good word, but especially in the bigger markets, there's been an even bigger uproar on it, because a lot of people are demanding at least minimum wage. They're demanding benefits. The problem with this is that raises Uber's operating costs by like 30%, I think it was. So if we want minimum wage and all these things, they have to figure out how to make a lot more money that they're not making currently, money that they're losing. So do you see this cycle? Drivers are ticked off right now because we've lost so much money on what we make. Uber's broke as a joke, and they're trying to keep the customers satisfied, but they're not keeping the drivers satisfied. So it's creating this really dangerous kind of cycle, I guess, of they're going to have to make cuts somewhere that's going to tick someone off. So then what happens there? Well, you lose customer loyalty. So then people all flood over to Lyft. Lyft, I'm sure, has had similar problems. I haven't looked as much into Lyft. I've just heard that they also haven't profited. So they're clearly not doing too hot either. And those companies are just in a never-ending price war with each other as far as, I mean, now I most often, when I get on Uber and Lyft, I can, one or the other, it's usually a difference between 50 cents, except I think longer rides are a lot cheaper on Lyft now. But the other thing that really hurt Uber is they have a lot of competition overseas. Uber should have dominated almost every single market. They should have been in before everybody, but they got beat out. I guess maybe they were just too focused on their lawsuits they were going through here in the States. But basically, like in Europe, other rideshare companies are already just massively prominent. And when this was all coming out, some savvy businessman said, hey, I'm going to start one that's for here. And he's dominating that market now, or, wherever it was at. But that really hurt their ability to earn, to fight a lot of that debt. Not going international, I think, was a big crippling process for them. And I think a lot of the things that hurt them too is they didn't really fight for like customer loyalty. It seems like they've never really cared if they lost people to Lyft. I don't know. That was just my personal take on it. But yeah, so that's like the financial aspect of it. So now, as far as like their practices and what they do, it's been no secret. I mean, they've been in lawsuits since they've existed, and it's been crazy too because they've been in lawsuits for like anything you can think of. Like, it hasn't just been money stuff, it's been freaking really bad workforce stuff with, I mean, you guys know there's, a lot of employees that came clean about stuff that was going on there. And then you had the first time, I think, a passenger sued a driver for some like sexual allegations. All these different things that just bombard them, and it's drained their wallets mainly, but it's like really tainted their reputation. And I mean, if you guys drive actively for both platforms, like I pick up so many people in Lyft that they just refuse to ride for Uber. They're like, I'm not going to stand by a company that is like, that's sick, I mean, I drive for them, so I'm not gonna be expressive on any opinions on what I think about them, but definitely some shady stuff, So what are some of the other things that I feel like have really hurt them over time? Well, definitely how they've treated us. You know, something they should have integrated earlier on was, I think, a lot more benefit to veteran drivers. I mean, I do think it's preposterous that I'm 4 years into being a driver and I get like nearly the exact same benefits as someone who's driven for 3 months as far as what Uber Gold rewards, you know? So I think what happened is they lost a lot of good drivers to that. I think they lost a lot, like a massive customer base early on because of all this crazy stuff that happened. They dumped way too much money into marketing and just really bad, massive ad campaigns that I think flopped on them. And then I think, I mean, you know, the bonuses back in the day, like you could sign up and make like $1,500 for doing X amount of rides in a month. And like, there's just no way you're profiting if you're paying out that many people $1,500. Like I look at the numbers and I'm like, how is it that you lose $5 billion in a quarter? You know, like that is so much money just down the drain in a quarter. And I don't know, it's honestly pathetic. But I also think just the way they do business as a whole is really shady. Like I have had a lot of personal beef with them. I've told you guys stories where I've had missing tips, missing surge fares. I think I've told you guys this before too, that like I've gone out with a friend before and we would be parked next to each other waiting for a ride and our surge maps would be completely different. His would be like all over the east side, mine would be all over the downtown area. It was never the same. So they're doing some kind of algorithm, I feel like, to try and keep everyone somewhat happy, but no one's really winning. So the main thing that I think scares me is like I feel like they have one shot to like make it, and I think it's automation. And I think they're going to try and push as fast as they can to go full automation and to get rid of us, because I think that's the only way they'll really save the company. Because at first I just thought, oh yeah, you know, it's a big company, they got big operating costs, but no, you're not losing $5 billion in a quarter from operating costs. You know, it's way different than that. So I'm going to end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Got some more content coming for you guys soon. If you guys want anything specifically covered, just reach out in the comments section or on Instagram or anything. And yeah, happy driving, friends. I hope you guys kill it out there.